Salams and welcome. This is mainly for our children, and please teach your children and grandchildren. And if you're a school teacher, please tell your school children that please remember the habit of brushing teeth. And we need to implement this habit from a very young age. So children need to brush their teeth. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized the importance of brushing teeth. This was more than 1400 years ago. So Islam is very, very particular about dental hygiene, and we learn this from the blessed life of the Prophet Muhammad. And he taught even the Bedouin Arabs, where they didn't even have much water. Imagine in the middle of the desert, where water was scarce, but he regularly made sure that the teeth were brushed. Brushing teeth, and the Prophet Muhammad, he loved beautiful smells. So he loved fragrances, he loved perfume, but anything that was offensive to the nose, he did not like it. So if a person had offensive bad breath coming from the mouth, he did not like it. So he would encourage, in those times they used to use a chew stick called a miswak, and you chew one side of the stick, bite it until the end becomes frayed, and then you use that to polish your teeth. You polish the front of the teeth, you polish the sides, and where necessary you use a little toothpick. So in modern times you can use a toothbrush with toothpaste, but there are many Muslims who still prefer the traditional method, and this is known as the sunnah. And you find many Muslims still using the miswak. Please speak to your dentist, but I think when your toothbrush looks like this, this is frayed, then it's about time to change it. Dentists recommend maybe every 3 or 6 months you must change it, at least once a year, maybe every 6 months you got to change it, because like this it doesn't work fine. This one is an Aquafresh. It doesn't. I prefer the Oral-B. I prefer this one, and I prefer the soft one. My teeth can't handle the hard one. The hard one damages your enamel. Also remember, you can use different types of toothpaste. You can use this one here. I prefer the close-up toothpaste. It just depends on the brand. It's a personal choice. You can go to Clicks or Discam, any of these places. Also remember to use floss. Floss is very important to remove, because if food or meat gets stuck between the teeth, it's very difficult for a toothbrush to take it out. You cannot get rid of some of the food from between the teeth. You can use a toothpick, but a toothpick is not ideal. You got to use a floss. A floss removes those debris, and that prevents buildup of germs. If you have any amount of food left in your mouth, that's going to start collecting germs, and your mouth is going to start smelling. Okay, so even if you can put, it doesn't matter if you put nice veneer teeth here. You can put that. You can spend a lot of money to have teeth looking like these superstars, beautiful white teeth, but if you're not going to brush your teeth properly, your mouth is going to smell. Okay, if you can have food between your teeth, your mouth is going to smell. So you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands and have sparkling teeth. It may look nice, but it will smell terrible. Okay, so the main thing is, it mustn't just look nice, it must also smell nice. Okay, so that's the main thing about teeth. So use the floss regularly, and there's different types of floss. This one is a satin one. I prefer the satin one. This one is a Oral-B one. You can use Oral-B one. There's another one. This one is by Clicks. So you can get any type of floss, you can get it. So very briefly, in Africa, within the African continent, chew sticks are made from the tree, the Salvadora persica tree, also known as a toothbrush tree. This is a twig. A twig is broken off, and that's where we get the miswak. The miswak is just a twig from the tree. And in Africa, this tree is known as the Salvadora persica. Now, the Chinese monk Ye Zheng, listen to what this Chinese monk has to say, because the monks, they're very dedicated with their worship. Now, look how important emphasis they also put on the brushing of the teeth. And they say, every day in the morning, a monk must chew a piece of toothwood brush to brush his teeth and scrape his tongue. You must scrape your tongue. Okay, when you use a toothbrush, you must scrape your tongue with your toothbrush. Where's my toothbrush? Is gone. I've lost my toothbrush. Okay, say, all right, let's use you must brush your tongue. You must remove the debris from your tongue. So the monk is saying, every day in the morning, a monk must chew a piece of toothwood to brush his teeth and scrape his tongue, and this must be done in the proper way. Only after one has washed one's hands and mouth can one make salutation. That means you can't even greet another person unless you've brushed your teeth and washed your hands. Otherwise, both the person who's greeting and the one who's being greeted are at fault. Look at that. Okay, but in Islam, this tree is traditionally used to create a chew stick called a miswak. as frequently advocated in the hadith by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah's Messenger said, if it were not that it would be difficult on my nation, then I would have ordered them to use the miswak for each prayer. The siwak or the miswak, it's called a miswak or a siwak. So if it would not have been difficult, the Prophet ﷺ would have requested that we must brush our teeth 5 times a day. Aisha radiallahu anha, our mother, said, the Prophet ﷺ said, the miswak cleanses the mouth, it purifies the mouth, and it pleases your Rabb. God is pleased when you brush your teeth. So it's a wonderful act of worship. And this is in the hadith book, At-Tirmidhi, book of purification, book number 1, hadith number 2. In this way, the Prophet Muhammad, and the reason why we follow that example is the Prophet, he's our leader and role model, so we follow his example. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommended brushing of the teeth, whether it's miswak or your toothbrush, to be used to maintain proper oral hygiene. Oral hygiene is very important. You can get coughs and colds coming from your mouth, various things you can eat, you can swallow, you can get digestive disorders. So oral hygiene is very, 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 very important. Hence, it's considered by Muslims to be the first dental educator in oral hygiene. So the Prophet Muhammad taught us about dental hygiene 1,400 years ago. He is our first dental educator, and he emphasized oral hygiene 1,400 years ago, and that's why we love him as a role model. So Orthodox Muslims practice miswak tooth cleaning 5 times daily as an important part of ablutions, because Muslims pray 5 times daily. As part of the ablutions, they also brush their teeth. They brush their teeth 5 times daily or use the miswak, and to ensure oral hygiene. Stay well. Please teach your children, teach your grandchildren. Please brush your teeth. Buy for each one their own separate toothbrush. Don't share toothbrushes between the children. Get each one their own separate toothbrush or use the miswak. Stay well, and especially in the morning. Wake up in the morning, brush your teeth. Before you sleep at night, brush your teeth. After every meal, brush your teeth. Take a floss. Use a floss. Clean the debris of food between your teeth, and let your mouth smell beautiful. So when you are next to someone, you have a nicely fragrant mouth. Stay well. Look after yourself. The lesson for today is, have you brushed your teeth? And dental hygiene is important for medical and dental health. Look well, stay well.